Hello BookTube. Today I will be doing the Behind the BookTube tag. This tag was created by Shelley Swearingen, and I will leave a link to her channel in the show notes down below. Before I get started on the tag, a bit of some housekeeping. So, uh, I usually film at my desk, which I think makes me a bit backlit. So, I'm a little so it's dark. So my videos are dark. So I decided this week to change filming locations. So I'm going to see how things look in different spots throughout my room to see what the best filming location would be and what would be most convenient. And I will also try to do some editing or something, maybe play with the program to see if I can lighten things up anyway. Um, but also, so I'm going to try to improve the lighting by moving the computer camera. So right now, it looks a lot brighter, although I'm not entirely fond of the um, background. I mean, this is nice, that not so much. And I really need to clean up my desk. But anyway, so let me know in the comments down below what you think of how this video looks. I will also, at the end, be randomly pulling down a book and showing it and see how that works. I can already tell the light's a bit improved, although this part of my face is a bit more in shadow. So maybe I need to find one where I'm more fully illuminated. But anyway, let's get going with the prompts. Prompt number 1. What has surprised you the most about BookTube, both in a good way and in a bad way? So, I think the most surprising thing about BookTube in a positive way is the community. I really do love this bookish community that exists on YouTube. And the most surprising thing in a negative way is how BookTube has really upended my reading life, my reading identity. When I first started BookTube as an active booktuber rather than as a viewer, my reading my reading life was largely devoted to science fiction and fantasy, my favorite genre of fiction. And as I became an active booktuber, that started to change rapidly to the point where my tastes have changed. I've become more of a nonfiction reader, mainly history. Okay, all history all the time, with very limited, very limited amounts of not history. um, but yeah, my reading has it's been completely upended, and it's still not entirely settled. Number 2, how do you balance reading and BookTube with the rest of your life? So I read as much as I can. I basically have a set period of when I read, particularly during the work week, Monday through Friday. I read from 2 to roughly 6:30. And then over the weekends, I try to read pretty much all day for Saturday and Sunday. And for BookTube itself, I basically have a set filming period. So Monday through Thursday and sometimes on Friday, I try to film at about 12:30 Central Time. So after lunch. Although sometimes, depending how difficult the video might be to make, because sometimes I do have a hard time with my making videos, either false starts or I don't really have a good conversation thing. So, but it's usually about 12:30. And then on Fridays, my weekly reads is about 6:30. So once I've finished up my day's reading and done all the other household chores I need to do in the late afternoons. Number 3, have you ever thought about starting a Patreon? No, I don't really have anything to offer for Patreon. If I were, say, more for professional artist or wanted to like sell my art or focus on that or my writing and I had like extras or stuff like that, then maybe, but right now, not really. Prompt number 4, have you made any mistakes on BookTube? I don't know. I had thought while I was watching Shelley's video that there might have been a mistake I had made, but I don't quite recall what that is right now, so I don't really know. Although in a way, I think maybe that's more. Oh, now I remember. Although I think there's a later question that really refers to this more, so I think I'll address it there. But I don't think so, except for maybe the lighting situation, which I have struggled with throughout my active BookTube career because I film in this room and there are no windows. And so it's basically either the ceiling light or the lamp. And I don't really want to use the lamp, assuming the lamp actually still works. Prompt number 5. Do you have any advice for new booktubers? Make the videos you want to make. Make the videos you enjoy watching and try to have fun. Prompt number 6. What are your thoughts on the YouTube algorithm? Pain in the rear end. 7A. How do you decide what videos to make? Well, I think I usually have like a set schedule. So some videos are set. On Tuesdays, I like to do tag videos, although that doesn't always quite work out for me. So on Friday, there's of course weekly reads, which is usually at 6:30. At the end of the month, there's my book haul, and then I try to do discussions and that sort of thing, and that's usually whatever it's really bugging me or kind of attracting my attention at any given moment. 7B, are you ever overwhelmed with video ideas? Sometimes, but they tend to also dissipate quite regularly. I'm more overwhelmed by creative ideas than I am booktube ideas, but anyway. Number 8, have you regretted posting a video? Okay, so sometimes, because sometimes whatever really is bugging me, I might make a video about it, and if I'm successful with it, because sometimes these videos don't quite turn out how I want them to, I'll make a video, and if it's successful, then circumstances might change. Sometimes as soon as I make the video or post it or a few days later, like last week I did a video in which I talked about my manga collection. And I talked about how I'm not as enthusiastic about collecting manga as I have been the past few months. Now that probably could be because over the past few months I have regularly brought in 15 to 25 volumes of manga every month. And I was going to get manga'd out at some point, so it probably makes a bit of sense that, and it kind of does also make a bit of sense that it would be around this time because I tend to, I think I've noticed, really pick up a lot more history towards the end of the year. Or whatever I've been really kind of obsessively collecting over the course of the year, at this point I start to move into a different direction for the rest of the year. And right now it's definitely going to be history. But after I made that video, I kind of started to wish I'd walked it back, or I hadn't been as something. Also, it probably doesn't help that, or helps, I don't know, that I did have some really good manga reading this week. So, which I'll talk about on weekly reads. So, anyway, let's move on to number 9A. Are the number of views subscribers meaningful to you? Not really. I mean, I do look at times to see what my view counts are, because I'm curious. But I'm more interested in comments than I am in views or subscriber counts, because my subscriber count has largely stayed the same for a few years now. And sometimes pick up, but rarely. 9B is, are the number of views, subscribers, a measurement of success? In a way, yes, but I think it's more engagement. If the comments are more lively, I think that's a better sign of success than subscriber views, because people are engaging with your material rather than just consuming it. Number 10, are you disappointed by the growth of your channel? No, not really. I kind of expected I would probably be in the mid-hundreds. Number 11, have you ever thought about quitting BookTube? Sometimes. I get a bit down when I make videos and I'm hoping for conversation in the comments or engagement in the comments, and that doesn't really quite work out. But yeah, I mean, but I also do enjoy making videos and the opportunity to sometimes work through things, even if they don't quite always work out. Okay, number 12A. What are the most touching comments? I think when other booktubers sort of wish me a good week, or if like I'm having a really bad day, whether usually it's mental, and they always sort of give me leave encouraging comments. That's lovely. And 12B is what are the most negative. So, a few years ago, this would have been a few months after I first started BookTube. I did some reviews, like video reviews, and I did one of. I'm blanking on the title of the book and the author. I think her last name is Bernstein, though. But it was basically about the Trumps and the Kushners, about how both families sort of got their start in real estate and some of the questionably legal things that they've done. And somebody left a comment about how the author was a yellow journalist, and I think that was the most negative comment I've had. And I mean, there might be some that have kind of disappeared, that were never actually published. So, and sometimes I don't actually see those. I think that's the most negative. 13. In regards to BookTube, where do you see yourself in 5 years? probably where I am. I don't think there's going to be too much change, assuming, of course, YouTube and BookTube are still around in 5 years. And yeah, so that was the behind the BookTube tag. If you would like to do this tag, consider yourselves tagged. I think Shelly did a number of people who she tagged. Although, yeah, so if you would like to do this tag, consider yourselves tagged. And I of course, tag Steve Donahue because he's a bit upset if he doesn't get tagged. So, yeah. So I'll leave a link to him as well to tag. And I guess also Michael K. Vaughn. And I don't know if the Peg at the History Shelf does tags anymore. So yeah. So anyway, BookTube, let me know what you thought of how this looks. And yeah, one thing before I leave. We'll use Magi. Okay, so okay, here, here, here. Okay. Let's see about interior. Okay. So let me know how that looked. So I can know whether or not this is a good spot to film at. Although it is a bit tight and not entirely all that comfortable because I'm more hunched over and the angle's a bit low, so I may have to figure some things out. But anyway, so until I see you tomorrow with another tag video and another filming location, thank you, BookTube. Have a great afternoon and stay safe.